Hey guys, what's happening? Pokemon Yellow as Tentacool was super fun. We ran out of gas right at the end there, but other than that, pretty awesome. Fun all around. This time, we're going through Pokemon Crystal as Wooper, which should be a much tougher challenge. A fun fact, my two favorite Pokemon actually come from this region, and Wooper is another one of my favorites. Not quite top 2, but still awesome. Our Tentacool was pretty strong by Gen 1 standards especially, but looking at our Wooper's base stats here, we are much weaker, totaling in at 210. That 15 base speed is gonna mean that we're slower than pretty much everything we're coming across. Our only passable stat really is hit points, and although base 45 attack isn't great, being water ground type means going by this moveset here, I gotta say, Earthquake at level 31 is just straight up wild. I can't wait to take advantage of that. That's absolutely gonna save this run. And I have to say, our TM moveset isn't that bad. We have stuff like Ice Punch, Curse. I mean, we're gonna be slow anyway, so Curse might not be a bad idea. I like that we get both Dynamic Punch and Ice Punch, despite the fact that Wooper has no arms or hands. Honestly, I can see us going with Sandstorm. In Generation 2, each turn Sandstorm chips off 1/8 of the enemy's health. And being that we're part ground type, we don't take any damage from it. But because we start with Water Gun and Tail Whip, we're going to go ahead and grind straight to 11 and get Slam, which is going to help us with the first rival fight. Now, we don't have to win this fight, but I want the experience points. It's going to help not only for the first gym leader, but the second gym leader as well. I figure that our rival is going to be pretty tough, not in this fight, but in every fight going forward. Once he gets Bayleaf and Meganium, we are 4 times weak to Grass, so anytime we have to fight the rival, it's going to be pretty tense. I say we enjoy this over-leveled victory while it lasts, because it's about to get crazy from here. Now, I could go to Sprout Tower, but they're all full of Bellsprout trainers with Vine Whip, which we're 4 times weak against, and we have base 25 special defense. I figure if we need Flash, we can always come back for it when we're stronger and can just overpower everything in that tower. Now, as we get ready to face Falkner, the Flying-type gym leader, we're going to see firsthand just how unreliable Slam is. Let's talk about Slam a little bit. Slam is base 80 power, which is really good for the early game. However, it has 75 accuracy, so mathematically, every 1 in 4 turns we're going to miss. But because we have greater physical attack than special attack, even though we get the same type of attack bonus off of Water Gun, in most instances, it's going to be better to go with Slam, at least till we get Earthquake. Water Gun against Pidgey does a little under half. We missed the first Slam, but the follow-up Slam connects. I guess we had a speed tie there because we went first on that round. However, next up is Falkner's H, a level 9 Pidgeotto. It's a lot scarier, so we're going to set up a Tail Whip to lower its defense by 1 stage. Though we do miss our first Slam and our Bratziello, our Held Bear restores us to 28 health, and we take out the Pidgeotto with 2 Slams. Pretty easy first try. I'd say we hit just the right level for this gym. The Falkner is typically very easy, but the next gym leader, Bugsy, is going to be much harder. Now, he's got Metapod and Kakuna. They're both pretty weak, but he also has a Scyther, insanely strong for this point in the game. And as such, we made XP snacks out of every single trainer on the way here. The thing about Wooper is that it's in the medium-fast level-up group, which means that in the earlier levels, it levels up pretty slow. Towards the end, it gains XP at a much faster rate. Honestly, for a challenge like this, I prefer that. Keeps our level low in the early game, and if we have to grind for the Elite Four, it won't be as bad. Now, I did say before that Metapod and Kakuna are super weak, and they are. However, Kakuna is still a mild threat because of its Poison Sting. Being part ground, we resist it. However, getting poison means we're going to be taking damage every turn. And Metapod being a 3-shot, oh, I don't like that very much. Thankfully, Kakuna wastes its turn with Harden, a complete waste of its time because we're using Water Gun to fight these bugs. Now, unsurprisingly, Scyther, one of the fastest Pokemon in the game, outspeeds us, and we have to open up with Tail Whip to lower Scyther's defense. And judging by Slam's damage, that's going to be a 3-shot, better to switch to Water Gun. Now, what makes Scyther so dangerous is that its move, Fury Cutter, not only does it get the same type of attack bonus from it, but every turn that Scyther uses Fury Cutter consecutively, it builds power. However, Fury Cutter also has 90 accuracy, so it can miss. I don't think we have to level up to beat this fight. We are going to need to get a little bit lucky, which is okay because we're relying on Slam, which misses 25% of the time. D4 and D10 luck, definitely had worse odds before. Really, it's just a matter of getting the luck to line up. We deal a lot more damage than I thought we would be doing, and I know we're using Tail Whip, but still. And on this attempt here, right on cue, Fury Cutter misses. Not only that, but we get a super timely critical hit. That's a 6.25% chance, by the way. For a guaranteed hit, we'll switch to Water Gun, and we're gonna win. And now, before we can leave Azalea City, we're gonna have to fight our rival for the second time, and he is going to have Bayleaf with Razor Leaf. Now, luckily for us, we have two useful tools in order to take down the rival here. First off being the TM we got from Faulkner, Mud Slap. We get the same type of attack bonus from it, and it lowers accuracy by 1 stage. Number 2, and more importantly in my opinion, is Amnesia, which boosts our special defense by 2 stages. We get that at level 21. Oh, what's that past me who is doing this run? We're gonna hit level 21 after beating Ghastly, which is true, we do. So we'll set up Amnesia, right? On the Bayleaf. That can one-shot us with Razor Leaf. Oh, we already know how this is gonna go. Now, Razor Leaf does have a 5% chance to miss, so I guess we're tempting fate here? Now, although we are quad weak to moves like Razor Leaf, we build up our special defense enough through Amnesia. We're gonna be pretty tanky. And yeah, we're gonna try to set up Amnesia on the Bayleaf that's faster than us and opens with Razor Leaf, which not only are we quad weak to it, but Razor Leaf is one of those moves that has a heightened critical hit chance, which is actually really bad for us because critical hits bypass our stat changes. But honestly, I see a very easy solution to this, so we're super close to level 21 anyways, so let's head east, go to a grass patch, knock out a few Pokemon, hit level 21, and we'll get Amnesia. But we're gonna have to set up on Ghastly, and the problem with that is Ghastly has Hypnosis. That's a coin flip accuracy move that will put you to sleep, and it also has Lick, 100 accuracy, 20 base power ghost move, and it has, what, a 30% chance to paralyze? Yeah, that's gonna be great. Now, we do have a Paralysis Cure Berry, which is super awesome. What's not awesome, however, is getting paralyzed off of a follow-up Lick. Now, we do take out the Ghastly, it's super frail, and thankfully no Levitate here in Generation 2. But you keep an eye on the damage Bayleaf is dealing to us with Razor Leaf, and we take it down about half before we fall. Unsurprisingly, due to the RNG involved between Hypnosis missing or hitting us, getting paralyzed off of Lick, and Mud Slap lowering Ghastly's accuracy, this is going to take quite a few turns. Now, one more thing about Mud Slap, one more thing that makes it useful in this fight, is that Bayleaf also has Reflect. Reflect halves physical damage for the entire party for 5 turns, so instead of using our slams to do less damage, what we can do, when Bayleaf comes out, we can keep spamming Mud Slap to lower its accuracy, reducing the chance that it'll hit us with Razor Leaf, as well as wasting time with Reflect. And I don't want to level up because we're dealing just the right amount of damage to Ghastly. If we get any stronger, we might one-shot it, and we do not want that. We get very lucky on this attempt here, taking only 3 damage as we set up 3 Amnesias and finish off Ghastly with Water Gun. And as Bayleaf comes out, once again, keep tabs on our health here. Just a reminder, we are 4 times weak to grass moves. Those 3 Amnesias make all the difference in this fight. More importantly, once Reflect fades, you see just how much more damage we deal. Thankfully, our finishing slam doesn't miss, but we're not out of the woods yet. He still has a Zubat at his disposal. It is faster than us and can flinch us with Bite. Thankfully, though, Zubat's pretty frail, so we finally got past this fight. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have much grinding to do because I want to get Earthquake before we fight Whitney, the normal-type gym leader. Now, if that seems a bit excessive, we're not only getting Earthquake for Whitney, but we're going to need a really strong ground-type move to deal with Morty's ghost, the following gym leader. But more importantly, Whitney has a Miltank, which is another super strong Pokemon for this point in the game. Even though we're going to be level 31 by the time we fight it, Miltank will almost certainly have better stats than us. However, as for Whitney's opening Clefairy, 1 Earthquake is going to do the job for show. That's base 100 power, excluding the same type attack bonus. Now, as Miltank comes out, it misses Rollout. I was surprised it went for that. I figured it'd go for Stomp, and Earthquake's doing over half, so as long as it doesn't go for Milk Drink, it doesn't. Okay, we're good. Now, in Pokemon Crystal, we have to battle our rival at the Burn Tower before we can fight Morty, so let's go do that. Unfortunately, his Haunter opens with Curse, which for Ghost, sacrifices half of its health, and we're going to lose 1/4 of ours every turn. Fortunately, the follow-up Lick does not paralyze us, and we're easily able to finish off Haunter with Earthquake. But we have Ice Punch now, and our first Ice Punch on our rival freezes the Bayleaf, and we should be good. Well, that could have gone a lot worse, and yeah, we have Ice Punch to one-shot Zubat, and Magnemite is double weak to Earthquake, so bye-bye. Now, coming up is Morty, and we're going to see the power of same-type attack bonus Earthquake in action here. But seriously, watch all of this. Morty blows this fight by wasting time with moves that either don't hit us. The second Pokemon uses Hypnosis and misses, so give him a little bit of credit there. But yeah, doubling up on Mean Look, nothing but the finest from Johto's gym leaders. And now from here, the game opens up quite a bit. We got a bunch of stuff with Team Rocket to go do. The short version of the story in Gold Crystal Silver is that it takes place 3 years after the Gen 1 games, and we get involved with mopping up the remnants of Team Rocket. And it so happens that our rival is the son of Giovanni, and he shares an equal interest in cleaning out Team Rocket. He is a pretty cool rival. I think he's a bit of a step down from his predecessor, but overall, Silver holds up pretty well. So out of the 5th, 6th, and 7th gym leader, I decided to go for number 7. That's the Ice-type gym leader, Price. Now, one thing this game shares in common with Gen 1 is that it's very easy to get your inventory stash full real fast. So what I personally like to do is I like to stick items on Pokemon just to conserve space. Like Geodude here's got the black belt. I think that would be cool thematically. We can't use any of these Pokemon in battle, of course, but I want to be able to conserve some of the items that I like. Now, I gotta say, Price is a hilarious 7th gym leader. Yes, he's the 7th gym leader, and his highest leveled Pokemon is level 31. Still, we're gonna set up some amnesias on Seal here. We get flinched a couple times off a headbutt, but Earthquake takes it out no problem. Out comes Dugong, it's faster, hits us with headbutt. We deal quite a bit of damage with Earthquake, it goes for rest, and because we can two-shot it, rest is a moot point. With Amnesia, that same type Blizzard doesn't do much damage, so let's take it out with Water Gun. Let's have some fun here. It is part ground type, so Ice Punch will deal neutral damage. Oh, come on. Come on, man. Wow, I wasn't expecting to lose to Price. I can't remember the last time I lost to this guy. Okay, you know what? We're just gonna sweep this gym with Earthquake. But you know what? I can't even be mad at that. I deserved that for being cocky. Okay, note to self, don't do something like that ever again. So I think this time we're gonna go after Chuck. He has a Primeape and a Poliwrath. I find that many of Johto's gym leaders are very underwhelming, like Whitney can be hard, and Jasmine has a Steelix, which can be pretty formidable. But Price is a super weak 7th gym leader, and Chuck isn't that great either. You know, I say note to self, don't do that again, but I can't send that to my past self playing the run. This time I don't get punished by being cocky. And we two-shot Poliwrath without taking damage because it wastes its time with Mind Reader. And to be fair, that would have made Dynamic Punch hit us, but he didn't have time to use it, so bye-bye, sucker. Now, I did say that Jasmine can be formidable with Steelix, but we're playing as Wooper here, and we have same type attack bonus Earthquake. She's the Steel-type gym leader, so we are super effective against her entire team. Double super effective against the 2 Magnemites. Wow, losing to Price off a Fluke Critical Blizzard and sweeping Jasmine, that is the Wooper experience, baby. Now, we are wrapping up all these Team Rocket shenanigans, and we do have to fight our rival 2 more times, and one of those fights is coming up here in the underground game corner in Goldenrod City. And credit where credit's due, he does have pretty good teams going forward. A little under-leveled, I would say, but otherwise not too shabby. Now, I gotta show you guys how our first attempt goes here, because you are not gonna believe this. Now, I was sure to equip a Bitterberry because he does lead off with Golbat, who does love Confuse Ray. You'll see that here in just a sec. I'd love to set up 3 Amnesias for Bayleaf, but we can't afford to do that. Now, what I don't understand is that this Golbat loves to go for Confuse Ray. However, it just stopped going for it after the first try. I'm not gonna complain about that. That was way easier than it should have been. Oh, and I misspoke. I said he has Bayleaf. No, he's got Meganium here. We get Poison off of Poison Powder and Ice Punch. You guessed it, freezes yet again. And we sweep the rest of his team with Ice Punch and Earthquake. Super easy because we got super lucky. Now let's go slap the crap out of Claire. And now, because we have Ice Punch, the Dragonairs are no problem at all, and gotta say, I'm kind of surprised that we don't one-shot them. I do have the Never Melt Ice, but I don't have it equipped for this fight. And I gotta tell you, I am thanking my lucky stars that we do not get paralyzed a single time off of Dragon Breath. Isn't that like a 30% chance? Now, what I really love in this fight is that we get hit with not 1, but 2 smoke screens, and that doesn't stop us from hitting with 2 Earthquakes to take out Kingdra. And because she's a sore loser, she won't give us a badge until we do some silly fetch quest. Seriously, can we petition to swap her name with Karen of the Elite Four, because Karen is awesome, and Claire is really, really annoying. Next up is the final required rival fight. There is one in the post-game. But what's different about the rivals team this time is the Pokemon whom he leads off with. Also, he has a full team of 6 for this fight. Now, thankfully, he leads off with Sneasel instead of Golbat, so we don't have to worry about Confuse Ray. This Sneasel does have Fury Cutter there, so although it's fairly safe to set up against, Fury Cutter will build power, so we do have to watch out. Now, you'll see that we've replaced Water Gun with Mist. We're going to need that for a couple of fights going forward. You may be thinking, why haven't you taught Wooper Surf? Trust me, we don't need to teach Wooper Surf. Speaking of things we didn't need to do, setting up those 3 amnesias, well, Meganium says, yo, I'ma crit you with Razor Leaf. Yo, amnesias ain't jack, brother. And I mean, after how lucky we got in some of the earlier rival fights, I'm not gonna complain about that at all. And again, Razor Leaf does have an improved critical hit chance. And gotta say, on these attempts, our rival's really giving us a beatdown. But there's something to be learned from this. If he's this tough, as you're seeing in our many failed attempts here, we stand absolutely no chance against the Elite Four. Now, we haven't had a serious grind session since the beginning of the game, which I am very much okay with. It's nice to have a proper challenge in this fight, and to make Silver look good. Again, he's a pretty cool rival. And another thing to be learned from these attempts is that although we are a much higher level, our atrocious base stats are really, really catching up to us here. Like, it wouldn't surprise me if this level 34 Sneasel was stronger than us in all regards. And considering that our rival has Meganium, Amnesia is absolutely mandatory to get through this fight. And it's interesting, too, in the failed attempts, Meganium was going for Body Slam. I guess it would have done more damage. This time he went for Razor Leaf, which is fine, really. And the following Golbat goes down to 2 Ice Punches, but it does slip in a fairly strong wing attack, bringing us to 51 health. And from here, thankfully, everything else is a one-shot. The Kadabra, all it does is set off a Future Sight. Magneton is always free. And because Haunter uses Mean Look instead of attacking us, well, we win. So yeah, we're going to do a fair bit of grinding in Victory Road, although you guys are going to see us getting ready to square down with the Elite Four. We did a fair bit of grinding, as you see on screen. I'm so glad that Wooper is part of the medium fast level up group. Now, although we are a very high level, I'm still kind of worried about this Elite Four, because a lot of the Pokemon we're going to be facing are going to be faster than us. The Psychic Trainer Will, the first trainer, is certainly no exception. Now, Will has 2 Xatu, one of whom he leads off with, and surprisingly, he doesn't go for Confuse Ray. I'm very much okay with that. And it's looking like that's going to be a one-shot. I say that because we didn't one-shot Crobat against the rival. Turns out it is. Very good. Somehow we're faster than Executor as well. I didn't see that coming. A good thing we one-shot it because it would have one-shot us, I'm sure. Jinx is up next and thankfully misses with Lovely Kiss. Jinx is super frail, so 1 Earthquake easily does the job. Now, I figure Slowbro is the perfect Pokemon to use Amnesia to prepare for the final Xatu. It goes for Curse, which raises its defense and attack but lowers its speed. Not really a big deal, we can still 2-shot it with Earthquake. We got pretty lucky there. Slowbro hits pretty hard with Psychic. And as the final Xatu comes out, you can see just how little Psychic deals. Again, I'm surprised it didn't go for Confuse Ray because Will loves spamming that move. Now, next up is Koga. You may remember him from Pokemon Red and Blue as the trainer who will self-destruct his Weezing against your entire team and just forfeit the fight. Well, I guess the Elite Four saw the brilliance in that strategy and decided to promote him from Fuchsia City's gym leader to the second Elite Four member. And I gotta say, I'm not too worried about this team. We have Earthquake. He does have a Crobat, but we have Ice Punch for that. His Ariados, Venomoth, and Fortress, who will come out one after the other, are all part type of something that Earthquake is strong against, which is cancelled out by Bug, so we're going to be dealing neutral damage. Luckily for us, Fortress likes opening up with Spikes, and although it is low enough to go for Explosion, we are faster and finish it off with Earthquake. Crobat's next, and obviously is faster. He uses a single double team, and we're going to 2-shot it with Ice Punch. He does hit us with Toxic, which can be stressful as we miss the second Ice Punch. However, it's too little too late. Although Crobat does hit us with Wing Attack, it's no match for our follow-up Ice Punch, which does not miss. Now, the thing about Koga is that he also has a Muck who is weak to Earthquake, which is why he sends it out last. We do outspeed it, and it goes bye-bye. Good night, Irene. Now, speaking of the Elite Four's brilliant decision-making, you may remember Bruno from our last run in Pokemon Yellow. Well, his team is actually okay in Yellow, but it's hilariously atrocious in Red and Blue. And once again, going off of their infinite wisdom, they decide to promote him to the third Elite Four member. And I can see why they did that, because every single one of Bruno's Pokemon is a one-shot with Earthquake. If not for Hitmonchan going for Mach Punch, which is Fighting-type Quick Attack, it gains priority. This would have been a damageless sweep. Even the Mighty Machamp, who I'm actually pretty worried about going into this fight, turned out to be a one-shot. That was a pleasant surprise. Yes, I know the fight is still playing out, and I did spoil this outcome. I know that's a real shocker. But this fight goes to show, as long as we outspeed what we're fighting, we can typically take it out with Earthquake. Now, the next trainer, Karen, uses Dark-type Pokemon, and we really need to get her name swapped with Claire. And Karen's team is one of the reasons why I wanted Mist. You see, she leads off with an Umbreon, and that Umbreon just loves going for Sand Attack. Mist will protect us from that. Well, that was my mentality going into this fight. We do set up Mist, but of course Umbreon goes for Confuse Ray as if it read my mind. Now, Umbreon is very bulky, so it does survive an Earthquake and hits us with a weak Feint Attack. Luckily for us, we break out of Confusion almost straight away, and we can go ahead and finish it off with Ice Punch. Now, amongst Karen's arsenal is a Vileplume, whom she sends out next. It has Petal Dance, and that would really wreck us. Unfortunately, we are faster, it's part Poison type, and goes down to 1 Earthquake. Now, I was expecting Gengar to be next, but out comes Murkrow. It is faster, hits us with a fairly weak Feint Attack. We go for Ice Punch. Looking like it's going to be a one-shot. It is, very good. Now comes out the Gengar. Of course it's faster, it goes for Curse, and we know how that works already. And that's just fine, because we would have one-shot it with Earthquake anyway. It's worth noting that in Generation 2, Curse does not take effect if you knock out a Pokemon. And I say that because Houndoom's next, hits us with Crunch pretty hard. Mist does protect us from the special defense drop, not that it matters because we one-shot it with Earthquake, it's part fire, so yeah. Now, we've been doing awesome against this Elite Four. I thought that trainers like Will would take more than one try. Very glad that's not the case here. And you know, I was talking about how awesome Earthquake has been this entire run, and it really has been a great move, but it's time to retire it because we can't use Earthquake at all against the champion. The champion, Lance, has all flying types. And it pains me to do this, but we have to replace Earthquake with Rollout. Now, Rollout's a great move. When you use Rollout, you're locked into it for up to 5 turns. It has 90 accuracy, and every turn, its power doubles. It starts at 30, then 60, 120, 240, 480. Now, that sounds great against a flying-type champion, right? Well, one of his flying types includes a Charizard who's double weak to Rock, so I think we're gonna be okay here. And even better, Lance leads off with Gyarados, and apparently his best move to use against us is Flail, so we can set up our 3 Amnesias perfectly here. We'll go ahead and use Rollout once we're done, and let the beatdown commence, baby. And now that Surf Gyarados hits us with might have hurt a bit, if not for our 3 Amnesias. 2 turns of Rollout is absolutely perfect. Next up is one of Lance's 3 Dragonites. I have to say, I'm surprised that we're faster than this thing. I am not surprised that a turn 3 Rollout one-shots it. And next up, Lance is going to send out yet another level 47 Dragonite. Gee, I wonder how this is going to go with a turn 4 Rollout. Oh, what a surprise. Now this Dragonite is faster, and it goes for Safeguard, which is a complete waste of time because we cannot afflict status on his Pokemon. Well, I guess we can use Ice Punch, but we're not going to. And I have to say, I'm very surprised that he sends out Charizard next, considering the double weakness. It goes for Hyper Beam, does a bit of damage. That was like the worst thing he could have done because Hyper Beam requires a recharge, giving us a free shot of Rollout. Now, last but certainly not least is his Aerodactyl, who is faster, hits us with Wing Attack for 30 damage, but it cannot tank our powered-up Rollout. Now, I knew Lance would be easy with Rollout, but man, it's just wild seeing this adorable little Wooper steamroll its way past these dragons, this fossil pterodactyl thing, and this fire lizard who LARPs as a dragon. And though we crushed the main story, this challenge run is not over yet. We still have to go to Kanto, get 8 gym badges, which is pretty easy considering that every gym leader over there, well, 7 out of the 8 gym leaders over there are weaker than the Elite Four. And not only that, we are hilariously overleveled. Now, I will say, I did actually lose to Misty a couple of times, but the only reason why I lost to her is because I had absolutely atrocious rollout luck. 90 accuracy was missing like crazy in that fight. But because we lost to poor RNG rather than just not being able to beat the fight, I figured not to show it. Showing Erica instead, because Erica, going by typing, is the most dangerous one. But, well, we outspeed all of our Pokemon. We still have Ice Punch, so she's no problem whatsoever. We have to get 7 of the badges in order to get the 8th. We're going to backtrack to Viridian City instead of Giovanni being there. Our buddy Blue, who was once the Pokemon champion himself, is now the gym leader there. I have to say, I didn't take Blue as a fan of a Legos aesthetic. The choices and personal decorations aside, Blue is a respectable and tough gym leader. Can we roll our way past his team, or have we finally hit a block? Let's find out. Now, because his team does include a grass type, we're going to need to set up some Amnesias. He's really laying into us with the wing attacks as well. Now, I gotta say, as we start building up the Amnesias, Pidgeot starts doing it himself. That's courtesy of Mirror Move. Pidgeot also Mirror Moves our Ice Punch, which thankfully does not freeze us, and Mirror Moves our Rollout. I gotta say, he got quite a bit of mileage out of that. Now, as we finish off Pidgeot with Rollout, the one who comes out next is Executor. I'm surprised that we're faster than, Executor's not the fastest Pokemon, but I figured it'd be faster than us, surely, and it's a good thing that we are, because it was going for Solar Beam. Thankfully, our follow-up Rollout does not miss. Blue sends out Alakazam, presumably just to tank the full power Rollout, but it also hits us fairly hard with Psychic, and of course we one-shot it with our final Rollout. Gyarados is up next and hits us very, very hard with Hyper Beam, and fortunately for us, our Rollouts aren't doing too bad. Unfortunately for us, though, we bring it just low enough to get it into full restore range. And what's even more unfortunate as it gets back to full health, well, we're gonna see that 90 accuracy come into effect here. We missed on the turn we would have knocked out Gyarados, and we get finished off. Now, at this point, I figure we can go ahead and get rid of Ice Punch. We really don't need it anymore. And to make Rollout even more awesome, I made sure to get the TM4 Defense Curl from Mount Mortar. Remember what I told you about the base power values of how Rollout works, 30, 60, etc.? Yeah, if you use Defense Curl before Rollout, those values double. Turn 1 is 60, turn 2 is 120, turn 3 is 240, turn 4 is 480, and turn 5 is base 960 power. And it's still not enough. Okay, one more thing we can do is we can go back to Celadon City, and at that spot in Gen 1 where you get the coin case, we can go into the trash can and pick up this item called Leftovers, because that's what you want to do, right? You want to go digging in the trash, full of God knows what, and you just want to stuff these leftovers in your Pokemon's mouth. Well, I guess Wooper does eat just about anything, so it's not gonna notice. It is going to require a fair bit more setting up, because we still have to set up our Amnesias as well, and it's against a Pidgeot who loves mirror moving our stat buffs. Now, I will tell you that this took quite a few tries to get right, because, well, Rollout with its 90 accuracy can miss like crazy, and even with the buff from Defense Curl, things can go wrong. And with all of our stat buffing, critical hits bypass all of that. So any crit from something like Alakazam, or a critical Earthquake from Rhydon, or a critical hit Hyper Beam from Gyarados just ruins the run. If we don't get one shot by it, we get super close, and that's a problem because he also has an Arcanine with extreme speed. If we're low enough on health, it can finish us off easily. But yeah, it's just a matter of getting the luck to line up with Rollout, and you'll sweep your way through this gym no problemo. Now, Blue was very challenging, but there's one more, well, technically there's two fights, but we're just gonna go straight for Mount Silver. And we're going to Mount Silver to do battle with the secret final boss of the game, Red, the protagonist from the original Gen 1 games. Now, in case you were in danger of thinking that we were over-leveled, well, I am delighted to inform you that Red's team is so high-leveled, we're going to be within his level range. In fact, we're going to be one level lower than the Pokemon whom he leads off with. Now, I haven't really made use of our Mist move since Karen because I wanted to block Umbreon's Sand attack. It's this fight right here. It's exactly why I have it. Because Red leads off with Pikachu, and because we are part ground type, Pikachu can't do all that much to us. Pikachu has a move called Charm, which will lower our attack by 2 stages. Mist will block that. Once we use Mist, Pikachu will just keep going for Quick Attack, and that's going to do very little damage to us, and much less as we set up more defense curls. We do want to set up more than one defense curl because Red's team does include a Snorlax with same type attack bonus Body Slam, and we're going to want to be able to tank that. And as far as this goes, I could not have handpicked a better Pokemon for us to set up on for our Wooper. Now, that's not to say this is smooth sailing by any means. Oh, no. Because after Pikachu goes down, Red sends out his Venusaur, and this Venusaur knows Solar Beam. And we don't one-shot that Venusaur with Defense Curl powered up Rollout, so let's see if we can tank Solar Beam, shall we? Oh my god. See, I told you Amnesia would come in handy. As awesome as that is, however, we're simply too weak to continue the fight, even with our maxed out Amnesias. Espeon's next and finishes us off with Psychic. But honestly, that's fine. All we have to do is make sure we take less damage from Pikachu. Now, I know I mentioned this a couple times in the video already, but critical hits bypass stat changes. That includes when Pikachu critically hits us with Quick Attack. It bypasses all of our defense curls. Pikachu is not exactly the hardest hitting physical attacker, but neither are we exactly tanky. Not physically, and certainly not with special. But it's pretty clear to me that we can win this fight at this level. We have to make sure that we set up Mist always, because if we get hit by Charm even once, that's going to be super debilitating for us. And you're going to see here in just a second, Pikachu is going to go for Charm right about now. And thanks to Mist, it's been blocked. And the bulkier we get, we're going to be healing more with leftovers than Pikachu is capable of dealing damage with us through Quick Attack. Although he does slip in a critical hit, that sneaky little mouse. Despite that critical hit, however, we can set up in relative safety because Pikachu will once again go for Charm and Big Mac's protected by Mist. Oh yeah. Now, things are going to play out more or less the same as it did on the first attempt. We almost one-shot Venusaur, but we have 49 health left from Solar Beam. Espeon sets up Reflect before it goes down, and that's going to be a problem because next up is Snorlax. It has super high physical defense. These next couple of turns are real tense because a critical body slam will either kill us or leave us with a sliver. Thankfully, Reflect wears off, that doesn't happen, and Snorlax goes down. Next up is Blastoise Surf, brings us to 50, and we take it out with a single rollout. Rollout ends as Charizard comes out, and we nearly one-shot it, which is hilarious to me. The follow-up takes it out. We just beat Red at the same level as his opening Pikachu at level 81 with a Wooper, base stats of 210, cleaned out the final boss. That was...
Some may say that it was luck that helped this team to advance. That doesn't matter to me, because the bottom line is that this team won.
God, I love that announcer. As for our next challenger, well, I'm going to leave it as a surprise this time. I will tell you that it's from Generation 3. I will see you guys at the next video. Take care. Peace.